Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the greatest watch market update show. Ladies and gentlemen, I have today an unbelievable story that I have for you guys. It's a story that happened to me. It was an awakening. It was like an epiphany. It was an awakening. It was like an epiphany. I was out. I was out for a couple of weeks vacationing with my dear wife, and and I'm just getting back into the groove of working and what I do for a living. And so I just want to start by telling you that there's a place that I go, every at least I go once a week, to this place to when I'm in the run, when I have things to do. I'll stop by to have a latte. You guys call it a latte, a cafe latte, coffee latte, right? And here where I live at, we call it a cafe con leche, coffee with milk. And so I stopped in this place, and I know ownership knows me, and some of the waiters, they know me too by my name, and they know the way I like my latte, my cafe con leche. It's a I live in a community where I would say easily 80% are Latinos, and then we have a 20% mix, like a salad bowl. And the 80% where we live at is basically, I would say, a good 70% are Cubans, Cubanos, Cuban. So anyway, I stopped in this cafeteria where I live at, and I went to have a cafe con leche. And the lady tells me, "Wow, you haven't been here for a while." And I replied back to the waitress, lady waitress, that I was out on vacation with my wife. And she says, "Wow, a lot of things have been happening in this cafeteria since you've been gone." And I said, "Really? Wow. Before you tell me what's happening, let me have my cafe con leche, my coffee with milk." So she brings me the cafe con leche, the coffee with milk. And I said, "So what's happening?" She says, "Well, for one thing, the cafe con leche, the cafe latte that you're drinking, that you're used to paying $1.59, and this is the cup. I'm gonna show you the cup. I'm gonna show you the cup so you see what I'm talking about. This is a cafe con leche, coffee with milk, And she tells me, "Well, this coffee that you've been paying for the last couple of years has been $1.59." I said, "Yeah, $1.59 I pay for it, right?" "Yes." "Well, it's no longer $1.59." She tells me it costs you now $2.99, $2.99. And I thought she was playing around with me, from $1.59 that I was paying for cafe con leche, cafe latte, to $3. And I couldn't believe it. I said, "Are you for real?" "Yes, I'm for real." And then she also told me, "And the fried eggs that you like with your Cuban toast and your bacon, your two little strips of bacon, that you pay $3.99, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And she says, "Well, that costs now $7.99. And I said, "My God." And I had an awakening, an epiphany. I couldn't believe what she was telling me. And I looked around to make sure that she wasn't bullshitting me, But she was for real. The coffee that I paid $1.59 jumped up to $3, and the breakfast with two eggs and bacon and toast to $8. And I couldn't believe it. And she looked at me with a serious face, and she told me, "This is what the tariffs are doing." And I said, "What?" "Yes, tariffs are coming into the United States of America, you know? And ladies and gentlemen, I've been telling you for some time, that things are tough in America. And this morning it hit me hard that it's already here. It's already here. And tariffs are going to crush. Hear me out. Tariffs will crush the watch industry. Not the Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market. No, 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 no. The watch industry. Tariffs will crush it completely, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody, nobody is going to buy watches. Get it through your head. Nobody. Remember what I told you. I told you, do you know what a dollar can buy you today? I told you, you know what a dollar can buy you today. A dollar can buy you today a whole nickel. A whole nickel. I told you that. A whole nickel, a dollar can buy you today. That's what you're going to get. Ladies and gentlemen, I was in total disbelief. I was in total disbelief. I even spoke to ownership of the cafeteria, and he told me, no, it's serious. Coffee jumped up to a 48%. Milk went up this way, sugar this way. I mean, it's crazy. Who can buy, like you guys, I'm buying café con leche cubana, Cuban coffee with milk. Now imagine you guys that you go to that beautiful coffee shop you guys go to, which is called Starbucks, or they sell you the fantasy that the coffee beans you get are disposed in droppings of monkeys, of monkeys. The droppings that you get, those beans are special from Starbucks, and you pay for a latte at Starbucks $10, $8, $12. It's unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in big trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody is buying watches. Get it through your head. This country has a $36 trillion debt. And out of the $36 trillion debt they have, $9 trillion is coming up for refinance. And ladies and gentlemen, somebody has to pay that refinance. It's going to be you and me. Not the owners of the world, not the elite. They're not going to pay nothing, but we are. We are going to pay for that debt that we have going on in this country. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, again, I'll keep on repeating it to you. The watch industry is going to be crushed completely by tariffs. And today, I had an awakening. I couldn't believe that a café con leche that I pay $1.59 and eggs and bacon and tostada that I pay $3.99, it all doubled up. Doubled up. Papi, there's no money out there. Smart money. Smart money is staying away from luxury goods. You guys should be lucky that I've been giving you and talking to you about that the watch market is dead for the last 2 years. And for the last 6 months, I've been telling you guys, you're going to get the logo. You're going to get the logo. And you're going to get the logo. I've been telling you that. Nobody else has been telling you that. Just me. I've been telling you that. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have to, get smart. You guys cannot continue skip hopping around through life like rabbits. La situación está caótica. You know what caótica means? You Google it, because I'm not going to tell you, and neither is this serious gentleman that's sitting next to me, sweet Kino to me, Joaquin to you. We're not going to tell you. We're not going to tell you because you guys are mashuganas. You are lucky that I've been telling you you're going to get the logo. And especially you young kids out there that are coming out of the university and you buying all these watches that cost $15,000, you're going to have to sell it again for $6,000, $5,000. Papi, the watch industry está roto, logo, dead. I know what I'm telling you. Today was a day that was an awakening for me to say it has reached the shores of America, the tariff game. I'm telling you what it is. You guys are lucky that I have been the one that has single handedly disrupted, rattled, and dismantled the Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market. Unbelievable. I have saved millions and millions of dollars on recovering tomato cans. You know, recovering tomato cans. You know, me and Sweet Kid Kino to me, Joaquin to you. We have saved millions of dollars on recovering tomato cans. You know, we have saved so much money. And we keep on telling you, you're going to get this. You're going to get this. And you know, you guys don't want to believe it because you guys want to continue skip hopping around through life like rabbits. Like rabbits. Papi, no hay dinero por la calle. Somebody's going to have to pay back the SBA loans, the PPP loans, the government grants, the stimulus checks, you know, unemployment checks. What do you think? You think we're going to keep on living like that? You know, con un conejito. No sean lambones. No sean lambones, muchacho. It has reached the shores of the United States of America, the tariff wars. Nobody's buying watches no more. And let me tell you something else, ladies and gentlemen. I know too much. Let me tell you something. And I'm going to tell you. And you know why I'm going to tell you? Because I am stupid like that. You know those Rolex ADs, they have those little tags in the window that says, you know, yellow and green, that it says exhibition only. They're going to stop disappearing, ladies and gentlemen. They are going to stop disappearing. Whether you want to believe it or not, I'm telling you 2 months ahead of time. 2 months ahead of time. All those little signs that say exhibition only and yellow and green or gold and green, they're going to disappear, papi. Papi, no hay dinero. All those watches that you've been waiting for 2 years, 3 years, none, that's over. You go now and you say in 2 months, in a month, in 3 months, and maybe in a week, you're going to get the watch. Nobody's buying watches, papi. Listen to me. I went to a Caribbean island, which I love very, very much. And it was a ghost town. A ghost town. Nobody was going into Breitling, going into Rolex, going into whatever you want to call it. Bovado, Omega. Nobody, papi. Nobody gives a shit no more about watches. Only lambones. Lambones like you. And me, what do I get? The short end of the stick. You know, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot continue being this way. I cannot continue waking up all you people. You know how many addicts, tomato can addicts I have awakened up already? Papi, you need to save your money. Dark times are here. They're already here in the shore. They're already here. I know you guys don't want to hear that. Ladies and gentlemen, smart money, real smart money is staying away from luxury goods, ladies and gentlemen. I know what I'm trying to tell you. $36 trillion, somebody has to pay it. And I'm telling you, it ain't going to be the owners of the world. It ain't going to be the elite. You know, it ain't going to be the elite. They're not. It's going to be me and you. You know why? Because me and you are slaves. Me and you are slaves. You understand me? I don't know if you guys understand that too much, but that's fine. I'm trying to tell you what it is. You know, listen to me. Things are real bad out there, ladies and gentlemen. when I heard today that a cafe con leche cubano, Cuban, costs $3, right here, $3. I brought it to, I couldn't believe it. $3. I said, man, this is gonna crush the world. You guys don't know that the world is a business. The world is a business. Every part where you live at is a business. And papi, it's gonna be a tough 2025. And this is just a little bit of it. A little bit of it. Because you guys want to continue maintaining these flim-flammers lifestyle. These flim-flammers don't know what to do no more. They don't know what to do no more, ladies and gentlemen. They know. These people know already. This thing is finito, papi. Finito. La situación está caótica. You don't know what caótica is? You need to Google it because I'm not going to tell you. Manishma. 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 Yalla. 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 Wake up. Stop skipping around through life like rabbits. Que son unos gilipollas, brother. Son unos gilipollas. I'm telling you, time is tough. Time is tough, man. I'm telling you. This is unbelievable. And these people, all these Muppet boiler room secondary gray watch market dealers don't have no loyalty with anybody. You know, I'm going to tell you something. A while ago, I saw a movie. I'm going to go back to a movie. I'm going to show you what loyalty is all about. And they don't care. I saw a movie back in 1990. And the characters in the movie were Jimmy Conway, you know, Henry Hill, Tommy. You know Tommy? You know who Tommy is. And Maury, you know Maury, toupee wigman shop. You know Maury had a shop, and he sold toupee wigs. It's unbelievable, that Maury. And you know, and Jimmy Conway and Henry Hill and Tommy and Big Paulie. You know Big Paulie. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta talk to you this way so you guys could understand, to open up your horizons. Porque ustedes están dormidos, mira, en la paja. So I have to talk to you this way. So in a way, this is an unbelievable movie. And I'm going to show you what kind of loyalty is. It's the same thing, loyalty in this movie, on the same thing of watch, you know, dealers, Muppet boiler room dealers, you know, the same thing. So, you know, Maury to pay Wigman Maury with his shop, he wanted to be one of the wise guys, but he couldn't be a wise guy because, you know, Jimmy Conway wouldn't let him in, Tommy, Henry Hill, Big Paulie, nobody. But Big Maury was always hanging around with the fellas, you know, drinking Dewar's, you know, Seagram, you know, hanging out with them. Unbelievable. And some way, somehow, Maury got a tip that an airline was coming into America, and that airline's name was Lufthansa. You know, Lufthansa. This is for real. This is not a lie. This is for real. And then they use fictional characters, you know? So Maury, you know, Maury to pay Wigman shop, you know? He gets the, you know, the little tip. So he tells Henry Hill, I'm going to show you what loyalty is all about. So Maury tells Henry Hill about this airline coming in with $1 billion. You know, $1 million, excuse me, not a billion, $1 million. This is back in the 60s, you know? Unbelievable, poor Maury, you know? So Maury did the whole thing, he did the whole layout, and he gives the information to Henry. Henry goes to Jimmy Conway talks to Tommy, and they do the heist. And they get $1 million back in the 60s. You know, back in the 60s. I don't know what the equivalent is, you know, back in the 60s, $1 million to, you know, to back, you know, I don't know, today's day, you know? So they had to split that money amongst all of them. Porque son rata. Todos son rata. There's no loyalty here. So when that happened, Henry Hill got his cut. You know, Big Paulie got his cut. Tommy got his cut. Jimmy Conway got his cut. You know, Fats got late and he got slaughtered. The guy. Samuel Jackson. Unbelievable. And the brains behind the whole, orchestrated the whole thing was Maury, Toupee Wigman. And Toupee Wigman, they wouldn't give him his cut. And he was asking for his cut. He was the one, he should have get his cut before even Henry Hill. Pero esta gente son una rata, they're rats. They're a bunch of cockroaches, So what happened was, Maury became a pest. And he started pesting on Jimmy Conway. My money, my money, my money. I did my part, I did my part. I'm going to show you what loyalty is all about. And I'm going to show you what a logo is all about. And Jimmy Conway was tired already. And Jimmy Conway gave the order that we gotta, delete, I don't want to use those bad words. We're going to delete Maury, to pay Wigman. We're going to have to delete him. Unbelievable. Que lo tuvieron que cepillar. Lo tuvieron que cepillar. You know what I'm trying to say, Wicked. You know what I mean, right? So, but why? Why would you delete the man that orchestrated the whole blueprints of Lufthansa Airlines, where all the cash and jewelry and diamonds were all there. But these people, they don't have no loyalty. Son rata. So one night, they're all drinking, having a good time. And they're all drinking. And even Maury's there laughing. And Maury's laughing. And he's, he asked, Jimmy Conway in a nice way, hey, when am I going to get my cut? And, that night was the night they were supposed to delete, Maury. So Maury didn't know how close he was from getting the logo that night. And Henry asks Jimmy Conway, are we going to delete this person today? And they were all so happy, drinking Dewar's, and Seagram and all that good stuff, all that whiskey they were drinking back in the 60s, And then Jimmy Conway says, nah, forget about it. We're having a good time. Leave it alone. Maury didn't know how close he was that night from getting the logo. What I'm trying to tell you is, I've been giving you this message for the last 6 months so you guys don't get the logo. Eventually, Jimmy Conway deleted Maury, and Maury never got his share. I'm going to tell you what loyalty is with these people, Son una garrapata, son unos insectos, son unos insectos. They're insects, insect. ¿Cómo se dice eso? Insecto. Insect, These people, they don't care about nothing, papi. They don't have no loyalty. Son morones. Son cucaracha. Son churra mala. Churra. And I'm here giving you all this information for free. And I'm telling you, if you live in America right now, welcome to the world of tariffs. Welcome to the world of tariffs. Nobody is going to be buying watches any longer at ADs, believe me, because the prices are just dropping and dropping faster than Billy Boy's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. No hay pa' más nadie, papi. No hay pa' más nadie. No hay. You're not going to see that yellow and green sign that says for exhibition only. That's going to disappear, papi. Those votes are packed with watches. And they're going to have to let it go. No hay más, papi. Logo with ADs. When you walk into an AD, you do this term. Logo. That's what you need to do. I know what I'm telling you. There's no loyalty. Before the secret handshake is over. You don't have to have no longer a secret handshake with your AD no more. No more. You don't have to have a secret handshake any longer, ladies and gentlemen. I know what I'm telling you. Listen to me. I know what I'm telling you. Sweet Kikino, he knows people all over the world. Sweet Kikino's the brains behind this channel. And I am the voice. And everything that I know it thanks to Sweet Kid Kino to me, Joaquin to you. If you don't know Sweet Kid Kino in a level, you cannot be calling him Kino. He wants you to call him Joaquin. I know what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. We're not playing around here. The Tariff. Welcome to the world of Tariff, papá. Bueno, bienvenido al mundo de las tarifas. Esto se jodió, papi. Esto se jodió. No hay cama para tanta gente. Aquí no hay cama para tanta gente. Esto se jodió. Se jodió. Kiro, te lo digo, está jodido. I know what I'm telling you. I know what I'm telling you. And we keep on. And we keep on because it's a job that we need to do. It's a job. We have helped millions and millions of recovering tomato cans. Millions. Unbelievable. Just because you don't think it's millions. It's millions, ladies and gentlemen. Este canal es una jodienda. This channel is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. There's not a channel like this one. There's not a watch channel like this one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, these people are seriously gonna get all their money back. This country, America, is gonna get all the money back. It's gonna take some time, but they're gonna get it all back, papi. There's no more freeloaders, man. We got a bunch of freeloaders living in this country. Freeloaders. I know what I'm telling you. I know what I'm telling you. I was in total shock today. Café con leche. Mira, para todos los cubanos de Miami, Florida. En la cafetería Enrique, me cobró 3 pesos por un café con leche. Papi, papi, I felt, this is no lie, ladies and gentlemen. I felt in my Fruit of Loom Hanes underwears skid marks. Skid marks on my underwears. I know what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. There's not a channel like this one. There's not. They come and they hear what I have to say because I am the awakening. I'm awakening all of you, the masses. I'm awakening the masses while the rest are skip hopping around through life like rabbits. A bunch of crumb bums, a bunch of window lickers, a bunch of tomato cans, crayon eaters, palmolive dish lickers. You understand me? Cow tippers, possum kickers. You understand me? You guys gotta stop being obedient. You gotta stop being obedient when you walk in to your dealer. Whichever dealer you want to walk into, you go like this to them. Logo, logo, logo. Papi, esto se jodió, papi. I'm telling you, those secret handshakes that you had with your favorite AD, you don't have to do no more. Papi, you don't have to do no more. Esto se viró al revés. It's upside down. It's upside down, papi. Esto se viró, papi. And what do we get for dropping all this knowledge for you guys? We get this. But we don't care. We don't care. We want you to have that extra so you can give it away, you know, to the war's fat bastard, you know, so you can give it away to Deputy Boxing Black Eyes, so you can give it away to the 2 toddler body brothers, Big Pun and Heavy D, the 2 Jehovah Witness brothers, you know, the hungry hippo Mr. Magoo. Yes, so you can have that left over and give it to them. Porque ustedes son unos gilipollas. Ustedes son unos lambones con diploma. Ustedes son lambones con diploma. You know what diploma is? You Google it because I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, esto se jodió, papi. Esto se viró al revés. Aquí no hay más nada. Nobody is going to talk to you the way I'm going to talk to you. And you know that gentleman prune face? He's running like a zitch on wheels. Like a zitch on wheels. If you don't know what zitch is, you Google it. He's running now like a zitch on wheels. Running. Papi, esto se jodió. Esto se jodió. Listen, there's another dealer that he took, I don't know how many. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. When I'm dropping too much knowledge, we get, for a moment there, you know, I'm dropping too much. I'm dropping too much. So I can't tell you what I was just going to tell you because, I'm telling you, this is the number one watch channel there is. There's no channel like mine, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready for the world of tariffs. The Cold War of tariffs. I know what I'm trying to tell you, and I try to tell you in a subliminal way because it's the only way I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm dropping this knowledge. I explain to you, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll keep on explaining to you. 2 eggs, toast, 2 eggs toast, and 2 strips of bacon, I will pay $4 for that. And for a coffee latte, $1.59. The café con leche costs $3 today, and the 2 eggs with bacon and toast cost $8 today. Papi, la gente tan jodida. There's no money out there. There's people going to be living under the bridge. Maybe even me and Sweet Kid Kino going to have to change our lifestyle. Unbelievable, this Sweet Kid Kino. You know how much money Sweet Kid Kino? Kino, tengo que decirlo. Tú gastas dinero con cojones. Tú sabes, no te pongas bravo. Kino spends a lot of money with his girlfriend. No te pongas bravo conmigo. But we have to change our lifestyle. We have to change our lifestyle because it's incredible. You need to save your children's tuition money, and you gotta stop, maintaining these people's red gold fast car, Louis Vuitton Nike sneakers, ripped jeans, Montclair sweaters, Supreme hoodies, sushi dinners, $17,000 steak dinners. They put your barbecue Fred Flintstone rib in your mouth, and they pull it back out, and then they tap, and then he drops a little salt, salt on you guys. You got to stop that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to permit that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not. I'm letting you guys, if you guys want to continue, buying raffle tickets from the Warris Fat Bastard, if you want to continue buying raffle tickets from the 2 toddler body brothers, if you want that, if you want to continue believing, Deputy Boxing Black Eyes promoting new watches, you work, Hublet, this, Purnell, that's up to you. We don't ask you for nothing. We're not going to be here forever. We're going to let them, get you the same way they got Maury. Maury from Goodfellas, he got deleted. Maury got deleted, ladies and gentlemen. Today was a very strange day. I'm telling you, welcome to the world of tariffs. Bobby, nobody's going to buy watches. Your AD is going to call you. They're going to beg you. Rolex factory, Bobby, they frogged up. I'm telling you, they frogged up. These watches that are going to be coming into the United States are going to have a 41% tariff. I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to say a 41%, papi. Esto está jodido. 41%. ¿Quién carajo va a comprar un reloj? No sean pendejos. No sean mamón. La situación está jodida, papá. This is the only channel that brings you the truth, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to buy your watch. I don't want to sell you a watch. I'm just telling you what's happening for the last 2 years. For the last 2 years. You know, this is not my channel. This is Sweet Kid Kino's channel. You know, he's the one. He's the one that did this. You know, Sweet Kid Kino is like Maury. Like Maury, you know Maury from Goodfellas, you know? Maury got the blueprints. He gave it to Henry Hill. Henry Hill gave it to Jimmy Conway. Jimmy Conway passed it along to, you know, Slow Paulie, Big Paulie, you know? And what did Maury get? He got deleted. He got deleted, ladies and gentlemen. You know? Listen to me. You're going to be telling me in a couple of weeks all the watches you're getting. I'm saying to you guys in a couple of weeks, but I know people getting watches left and right. They were offering me, you know, dog with fleas in Puerto Rico, in St. Thomas, you know, in Santo Domingo, la República Dominicana. You know, I don't want those dog with fleas no more. I don't want them no more. I don't want watches no more. I have this watch and that's it. I'm happy. I don't want no more watches. Papi, la industria de los relojes se jodió. Se jodió, papá. Hágame en caso. No hay más chelo. No hay más pasta. No hay más plata. ¿Entiende? No hay lana. No hay más nada, papi. No hay más nada. Esto se jodió. Esto se viró al revés. Esto se viró al revés. Nobody's going to give you a show like this one. I'm telling you. Nobody. Nobody has a show like this one. Nobody. Nobody. Esto está feo, papi. Esto está feo. Esto está feo. Hold on to your money. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, $1 can buy you today a nickel. $1 can buy you today a nickel. You understand me? A nickel. They're going to stop picking up all the pennies. Get rid of the pennies. Pennies. What do you do with a penny? These Rothschilds, the Morgans, J.P. Morgan, you know, the Rockefellers. Papi, esto se jodió, papi. Esa gente son el diablo. Esa gente son el diablo. We're nobody here, man. We are just slaves, modern slaves. Nobody's going to tell you this, never. And I can't go in deeper. If I go in deeper, I'll scare you guys. I'll scare you guys. Ustedes no tienen la capacidad para asimilar todo esto. You guys don't have the capacity to, you know, register. This is too powerful. You know, too powerful. Too powerful. Look at this, what it means. You don't know what it means. This is for real. I'm telling you. Skull. I'm telling you what it is. Papi, the world is a business. And we are the slaves. And those people keep on living life. Normally, we don't. We don't, papi. I'm telling you, that coffee from Starbucks, you know, the one that told you that the monkey's dropping the droppings, the beans that they use, you know, monkey, la mierda de los monos. They cost you a coffee, a latte, $14, $12. Papi, se van a joder. They have you guys like addicts drinking that coffee. You guys got to stop being tomato cans. I know what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to, you know, waking you guys up. Smart money is staying away from luxury goods. You know where the luxury goods come from already. You guys just don't want to believe it. You guys don't want to believe where it comes from. I've been telling you where it comes from. A flip lock. You know the flip lock? A flip lock? Eso viene de la China. La China. No sean pendejos. It's all rigged, man. It's a business. It's a big business. And they're coming for us now. Big Brother is watching you. He's watching everything. He's watching everything you're doing. how you're doing it, how you're spending it. What are your habits? What do you like? Papi, yo sé lo que te estoy hablando. You know the Build-A-Burger? The Build-A-Burger. The Build-A-Burger, you know? You know Build-A-Burger? Does anybody know what the Build-A-Burger is? Just tell me yes or no. No saben, Kino. Esta gente no sabe, ni están durmiendo en la paja. No saben lo que eso es. Look at that. You know? Tell them, so tell them what it is, John. Tell them what it is. Tell them what it is, John. Tell them. You tell them what it is. I'm not going to tell them. You Google it. You Google it. So if you know too much, why ain't you doing something about it? Spread it around. Spread the mayonnaise. Spread the butter. Spread it around like cottage cheese. You know? The Bilderberg. Eso es lo más grande del mundo, papi. Esto es, you know, black. You know black? Anybody know what black is? Black means? It's very important to know the word black. This is, you know, esto es, papi, you know, I'm dropping too much knowledge for free. People, when they leave this channel, when I finish my podcast, you come out of here smarter. You know, the Bilderberg, the Bohemian Grove, you understand me? They get together and they decide who gets this and who gets that. Esto es una jodienda. Esto es una jodienda, papi. You know? Tú sabes, you guys need to wake up. You cannot continue skip hopping around through life like rabbits. The watch industry se cagó en su madre. La industria de relojes se cagó en su madre. Se cagó. I didn't say a bad word. You know, I said in Spanish, shit, just in case you want to know what I said. Se cagó. Se cagó todo. I'm telling you, today, I know when I take off my Fruit of Loom Hanes underwears, I'm telling you, I'm going to have skid marks. And so will you. So will you. I know what I'm telling you. Papi, this thing right here, $3, café cubano, Cuban coffee with milk. You know, with milk. And you guys are skip hopping around to that Starbucks, buying a cafe latte for $14, $12, pumpkin spice, Halloween this, Thanksgiving this, the fall with the leaf. You guys, ustedes son unos gilipollas. Unos gilipollas. I cannot tell you too much because this is too much for you. This is too much for you. I know. Álvarez L, tú lo sabes, papi. Y Álvarez L es una jodienda. Esto es, te digo, esto está Enriqueta. You know Enriqueta? Does anybody know who Enriqueta is? Enriqueta makes the best pan con bistec. The best pan con bistec. Por allá arriba. Ahora vale 12 pesos un pan con bistec, muchachos. ¿Quién se puede comer un pan con bistec? No coman mierda. They lower the gas, they raise the butter. They lower the butter, they raise the bacon. And you guys don't have to shake no more hands with your favorite AD agent. You don't have to no more. Esto se jodió, papi, esto se jodió. I know what I'm telling you. And I'll keep on telling you. Kino, esta gente con la información que yo le he dado a ellos, porque te lo voy a decir para que tú me entiendas, para que después no me haga science y esto, no han dado ni un chero. Ni un chero. Not even 50 cents han dado. Not even 50 cents. Not one person, and this is for real, not one person has given 50 cents for a café con leche. And I'm dropping knowledge. But then you guys go over there and you pay for a $10, you know, for a $10 ticket, you know, to get a raffle ticket to get a make-believe watch that you're never going to get. You're never gonna get that watch. Pero ustedes son unos gilipollas. This is why this channel will be out of the air sooner than what you believe. And then you guys are gonna say, man, there was nobody like Juan, man. I said it wrong. Man, there was nobody like Sweet Kid Kino to me, Joaquin to you. There was nobody like Joaquin. Joaquin is a monster, bro. Joaquin is a monster. Joaquin is truly a monster. You know who Black Rock is? I bet you guys don't know who Black Rock is. I got Kino. Se lo tengo que decir suave, suave. You know, the Bilderberg, Black Rock. Look at this. Yes. You know, they know what I'm talking about. But you guys are not ready for this. You guys are not ready for this. You guys are ready for this. For Rolex. And you want Rolex. Papi, estamos jodidos. Estamos jodidos. Black Rock, papi. The Bilderberg. Black Rock. Maybe they're going to come after me today for saying all this. Because you guys want to talk about watches. Watches is an investment, papi. There's no investment, papi. There's no investment. I know what I'm telling you. You know what can happen to me? You know, the guy that I talked to you about, you know, the watch market is dropping faster than Bill Clinton's pants. You know, they can wipe me out, the Clintons. You know, people fall off cliffs. People fall slipping in the bathtub and they hit in the head. You know, you understand me? You know, that island over there, this is crazy, papi. And you guys are, I'm a rabbit. Yeah, you're a rabbit. You're going to get this. These people, the owners of the world, like smart people. They like smart people. I already told you about that boxer. I told you about that boxer that he's lucky if he gets away with his health. And I'm not talking about the boxer, you know, boxing black eyes. I'm talking about that boxer that claimed that he had $1 billion. Papi, they let him borrow it. You know, borrow this $1 billion so you can show the people and you have all those stacks and bricks of hundreds and millions of dollars. Papi, it's over. They don't want him out. They want him out, papi. The next step is delete. You know, Maury, delete. That's the next step. The next step. And I can keep on telling you, papi, this is, you know, once you join, you can join, but you can never come back out. I know what I'm telling you. Exactly. They took their money back. Papi, it's with a press of a button. These people in the entertainment industry, these athletes, they don't have no bank accounts. They have the bank accounts. They let you use it and they're monitoring you, the way you're spending it. And when they get tired, lock it. Like that, man. I know it's hard for you to believe that. I know. I know it is. I can tell. You know, we have a few people that understood what Black Rock is, the Bilderbergers, you know, the Burger King, this is for real, Bobby. These people don't play around. You know, you have a family which is called the Rothschilds that have, you know, every single war. I'm going to tell you something. Every single war that has happened in the world, listen and learn. Estos son unos gilipollas aquí, no lo saben. I'm saying too much. I'm going to tell you this last one. Every single war that has happened around the world, not the United States, around the world. You know who has financed it in both sides? And they never lose. And they never lose. The Rothschilds. They're worth $600 trillion. 600 trillion, not billion, $trillion. $600 trillion. They have financed every single war in the world. Those people were brilliant. The father would send one to England, one to Germany. You know, help me out, guys, because this is Carlos Slim, dito, Dios mío, Carlos Slim, está bien. Just listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. This is too much, and you guys have to get with the program because the tariffs have reached shore. You know, they have reached shore. I know what I'm telling you, and I just finished telling you something that if you say to yourself, is this one really BSing us, or is he for real what he just finished saying, that the Rothschilds have financed whatever country's at war? They don't lose because they finance both sides. You know what I'm saying? It's a win-win situation. Am I right, guys? Let's see if anybody says yes or no. Am I right? Tell me. Tell me yes or no. No hay cabeza, no hay. Papi, no hay. No hay. You tell me. Look at that. Yes, yes. Me caso en 10. Kino, pero por el amor de Dios, tengo gente inteligente. I got smart subscribers. They never lose. They finance both sides. You know, let's say then something better for you, you know, to make you feel more comfortable. Vietnam, the United States finance both sides. Who won that war in Vietnam? Nobody. Nobody. It's all business. And you guys are still thinking about, I'm going to buy a stainless steel GMT Pepsi. Am I going to get one? No coma mierda, papi. No coma mierda. Exactly. Two dogs fight for a bone, man. You know, for a bone. Pero Kino, not even 50 cents. I want somebody to send me a super chat thank you of 50 cents. So it can make me happy that I just finished dropping 57 minutes of knowledge. I want 50 cents. I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it any longer. You know, that's what Peter Finch said, you know, in the movie Network with Faye Dunaway, you know? And they opened the window. I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. You need to open your window in your house today and say that. I know what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. I know. See that? There it is. Kino, $1.99. Thank you very much, Bran, for that super chat. Thank you very much. Now I can continue talking about the situation around the world. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, nosotros estamos aquí prestados. We're just here lent. They lend us here, you know. We're a bunch of modern, you know, slaves. Somos una cucaracha. Somos una cucaracha. That super chat that Mr. Brand sent me, it makes me feel good that I can continue dropping knowledge. But what makes me even more happy is that I couldn't believe that a lot of you knew who were the Black Rock. I couldn't believe that a lot of you knew who the Bilderberger is. You know, I couldn't believe that you guys knew that the Rothschilds, you know, finance both sides of any war. You know, people never, it's a business. It's a business that never loses, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, I gave it to you the way it is. I'm going to stop this already because I'm happy that you guys understand what's happening. Welcome to the world of tariffs. Welcome to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a little watch market update because maybe you don't even want to watch the watch market update any longer. You know, to be honest, I'll be more interested in hearing all this the stuff of, of the Bilderbergers and the BlackRock and, the Rothschilds and, you know, J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan is unbelievable. Esto es el diablo. It's crazy. How is it that you're going to tell me, ladies and gentlemen, that supposedly we have Fort Knox, right? Fort Knox, where all the gold is at, right? And maybe there is gold, or maybe there's no gold there, right? But how are you going to tell me that in La Roma, which I was there like 6 months ago, I was in Rome, in La Roma, in el Vaticano, in the Vatican, you have, listen to this and learn. Listen and learn. This is scary stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Exactly. It's full of IOUs. Right. That I say it's full of IOUs in Fort Knox. But how is it that you're going to tell me in that little small city, the Vatican, where that gentleman just finished passing away on Easter Monday? Believable. What a coincidence, right? You have there 60,000 tons of pure gold. Isn't that crazy? 60,000 tons of pure gold in the Vatican. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that? No, Peter, no saben. No saben eso. Google it. Google it. They have all the gold. 60,000 tons. $60,000 tons of gold, pure gold en el Vaticano, papá. I think I'm going to leave you there with that one so you can let it sink in your head. You can let it sink in your head where all the gold is. No, Fort Knox. Man. 60,000 tons of pure gold are in the Vatican. All the way in the basement, all the way down. Unbelievable. Not all the way up, all the way down. But you guys are hopping around through life like rabbits. All these things. I had a great teacher. And my father would sit down with me and we had a day that we would play chess. But we never finished the chess game, or we basically never even started the chess game. My father would just stop bombarding me with knowledge. With knowledge. Ese Vaticano es una jodienda. That Vatican is something else, son. The Vatican is something else. Something else. They have everything there. Just letting you guys know. Anyway, guys, I'm going to give you a watch market update to keep you happy. Our first watch is an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak stainless steel jumbo with a blue dial. Unbelievable watch. Reference number 15202. Unbelievable looking watch. Ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor. And stop giving away your children's tuition money. The watch industry is in dire straits. Welcome to the world of Tariff. The watch price I'm going to give you on this is going to drop more. And I'm going to tell you, don't pay for that watch. Don't pay more than $46,500. And you want a full set. Use slider condition material, but you want a full set. Okay? With the blue dial. And this watch at one moment was over, and it went all the way up to $175, 175. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. Our next watch is an unbelievable watch by Richard Mille, the RM3001, titanium, unbelievable, automatic declutchable rotor, declutchable rotor. To you Richard Mille fanatics, this watch, I'm telling you, it's a disgusting price. 600,000, 700,000, 500,000, 400,000. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, to you Richard Mille fans, don't pay for that Richard Mille RM3001 titanium, the clutchable rotor. Don't pay more. I mean, you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want, ladies and gentlemen. But don't pay for that watch. Stop being window lickers. Stop being crumb bums. Stop being possum kickers. Don't pay more than $208,000 and dumping the watch market dead. Dumping the watch market dead. Don't forget it, ladies and gentlemen. Get it through your head. The watch market dead. Our next watch, your favorite watch again, Richard Mille, with those special, materials they use. Again, Richard Mille. A gentleman asked me about this watch last week. He left me a comment. I'm going to give it to you the price now. Richard Mille 6701 titanium. Unbelievable. Richard Mille, the 6701 titanium. Don't pay. I mean, you do whatever you want, ladies and gentlemen. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch more. Don't matter. No matter what these flim-flammers, hucksters, hoodwinks, spoofballs, tell you. Don't pay more for that 6701 titanium. Don't pay more than $156. And dumping, dead, dumping, dead. If you want to invest in something, look into gold. All the gold is in the Vatican. 60,000 tons. Believable. Ladies and gentlemen, don't pay for this Rolex stainless steel Panda. Unbelievable. The old reference number, the 116. Panda, white dial, black ceramic bezel. You do whatever you want. It's your money. You're going to be able to get all these watches. You don't have to grease nobody no more, papi. The ADs are taking out all those little tags that say for exhibition only. They're going to disappear, papa. They're going to disappear. The cat is out of the hat. It's all rigged. It's all rigged. Don't pay for that old reference number Daytona Panda. You do whatever you want. It's your money. But don't pay more than $22,500. And you're paying too much, Brian. You're giving away too much money, Brian. Don't give it away. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're a smart man. Tú eres un hombre brillante. You're a man of wealth, a man of the world, of vision, visionary, Unbelievable. Like Sweet Kid Kino, he's a visionary. He's a man that can see things. Everything that I know about Black Rock, the Bilderberg, the Bohemian Grove, I know it because of Sweet Kid Kino. Kino, give me 5. Kino doesn't want to show his face. It's unbelievable, that Kino. He said, no, I don't want to do that. I learned all this from Sweet Kid Kino, ladies and gentlemen. You guys gotta be smart. These elites are unbelievable. And I'm telling you one more time, this gentleman, that boxer, and I'm not talking about the boxer, deputy boxing black eyes. I'm talking about that guy, Pretty Floyd, whatever you call him, Pretty Floyd. Listen, be quiet and walk away. One more time. Listen, Pretty Floyd, whatever you call yourself, be quiet and walk away. You're going to have a slip and fall. You're going to have a slip and fall. I know what I'm telling you. Be quiet and leave. Be quiet. Be quiet. You saw what happened to Prince. He started talking about chemtrails. Does anybody know what chemtrails is? Chemtrails. Ellos no saben lo que es chemtrails. They don't know about that. They look to the sky. Nobody knows about that. But I'm telling you, Prince started talking about chemtrails, and I'm dropping too much knowledge. Come to this. I give it to you for free. I give it to you for free. I don't charge you for no membership, monthly pay dues, or whatever you call it, Nothing. I just do this because I'm stupid like that. And I believe that everything that my father showed me, I should show it to you guys. Prince, talk too much. You cannot talk too much. Not when you belong in that group. You know what happened to that guy, Diddy P. Diddy, whatever you call that guy, That guy too, he was part of them, but he flipped. They got him out. I know what I'm telling you. I know what I'm telling you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex Daytona Platinum Diamond Dial. Unbelievable. The new older version, 116506. Platinum Daytona, with a blue dial and chocolate ceramic bezel. Do yourself a favor and don't pay for that watch more than $83,000 and dropping. You do whatever you want. It's your money. You do whatever you want. The watch market is dead. The watch market is dead. It's dead. Dead. I know what I'm trying to tell you. Listen to me. This is the only watch channel that's going to talk like this and teach you. You see, the rest now, when they hear me talking about the Bilderberg, Black Rock, Rothschild, you understand me? When they hear all this, they're going to start talking about this because I'm a trendsetter. I am a trendsetter. Whether you guys want to believe it or not, I'm a trendsetter. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex stainless steel Bruce Wayne Oyster bracelet. 126710GRNR, 40 millimeter. Ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want. You listen to me. Those ADs, you don't have to shake their hands no more. You don't have to shake their hands no more. I don't have no money. I have money here. You don't have to shake. I don't want to do that. You don't have to shake it no more. You just go there and you say, I want this watch. Listen to me. Waiting time is over. Waiting time is over. Don't pay for that Bruce Wayne Oyster bracelet, stainless steel black dial with a black and gray ceramic bezel. Don't pay more. You do whatever you want. Don't pay more than $15,000 and dropping. The watch market is dead. It's dead. The new owners of the world are watching us. And remember, we are employees of them. I'm an employee of them. You buy a house. And that house, listen and learn, that house that you have is never yours. It's never yours. Yes, it is. No, it's not. No, it's not. You pay taxes every year in that house. And the house is yours. You pay taxes every single year. The house is never yours. I bet you nobody ever told you that. No matter if you pay your house, you pay taxes every year. You pay the taxes on your house every year. Let's say $12,000, right? Let's say you pay $12,000 of tax. You divide it into 12, you're paying $1,000 a month on a house that's yours. Papi, es un negocio redondo. It's a round business. It's round, and it's all for them. You do whatever you want. Our next watch is an AP Royal Oak Rose Gold Chocolate Dial Chrono. Unbelievable looking time machine. Non-converted. Listen and learn. Non-converted. Full set. Use. Slider condition material watch, ladies and gentlemen. Use. Reference number 26239. You do whatever you want, ladies and gentlemen. This watch at one moment was over $275,000 in that Corona beer era. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to tell you the good news or the sad news. Don't pay for that watch and you do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch more than $76,000. And dropping like my dead. If you want to invest in something, invest in gold. Invest in gold. The Vatican has 60,000 tons of gold, pure gold. I bet you nobody ever told you that, but I'm telling you that because I'm stupid like that. It's what it is. Our next watch is an AP Royal Oak Rose Gold 15400. Collector's choice, collector's dream, collector's grade, to get you, collectors, all that stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, the 41 millimeter, unbelievable looking time machine with a black dial. Unbelievable looking time machine. And I'm going to tell you the sad news. I'm going to give you the sad news. Don't pay for that watch and you do whatever you want with your children's tuition money and you do whatever you want with your 401k that belongs to BlackRock, It belongs to BlackRock. Your 401k belongs to BlackRock. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Hold me back. I don't want to talk no more. But don't pay for that AP Royal Oak Rose Gold 15400. Don't pay more, and I mean don't pay more than $56,000 in dumping. Aguántame, Kino. Aguántame. Hold it back. Hold it back. Push me back. Dumping. He dead. Dumping. He dead. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is your watch market update show. I hope you learned something. I hope you Meshuganas, Manishmas, and Yalas learn something. To all my friends, I have a lot of Hebrew friends, and they teach me all those words, and they like when I repeat them in my live podcast. Manishma. You know what Manishma is? If you don't know what Manishma is, you Google it, because I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you, and I'm not going to tell you what Yala is either. You Google it. I'm international. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you enjoy the show and you learn something. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like our video. And like me and sweet Kid Kino, Kino to me, Joaquin to you, we always say to you guys, take care and brush your hair.